Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how VitalSigns monitors Domino servers. Here I am on the main dashboard and you can see the status of all of my devices, and it's broken down by Domino and WebSphere and same time and connections and so forth. So I've got a number of Domino servers in various states, and if I click on the word Domino, it's going to show me a list of all these Domino servers, and I can see by scrolling through the list which ones are okay and which ones have issues and which ones are not responding just by the color that they are. When I click on a server, I will get a detailed page showing me lots of information about that specific server. So for instance, I can see that very quickly that this server is just about out of disk space. I can also tell that it's a Traveler server because it has the Traveler Health tab here, and I can also tell that it's a member of a cluster because it has the Cluster Health tab. Notice that when I click on DOM2, a different server, it does not have the Traveler Health page, and when I click on a server that's not a member of a cluster, it doesn't have the Cluster Health page. So VitalSigns can figure all these things out for itself. Now I'm looking at this particular server. The overall status of the server is issue. So how do we determine that it's an issue? Well, let's look at the health assessment. Here you can see all of the different tests that VitalSigns performed against the server and whether they passed or not, and when the test was run. If every test passes, then the server is okay, and if any test fails, then there's an issue, and there could be more than one issue. And if the server doesn't respond at all, then it goes into red as not responding. So the reason this one has an issue is because a couple of tests failed. Here in the Health Assessment tab, I can see a number of tests, when they performed and whether it was a pass or fail, and I can mouse right over and I can get more detail about it. For instance, I can see quickly that the Traveler servlet is not running, and I can also see that the cluster replicator is taking longer than it's supposed to. Because this is a Traveler server, I get a Traveler Health page, and when I click on that, you'll see that you get information specific to Traveler, like the number of device syncs per hour, the number of HTTP sessions that the server is consuming. We also run tests against the Traveler server to make sure it has enough HTTP threads, that the server is continuing to sync with devices. We'll show you how it's doing with allocated Java and C memory to help you track down problems. And we also can figure out which mail servers the Traveler server is talking to, and whether it's having trouble communicating with any one of those. So how does all this stuff get in here in the first place? Well, if you go over to the configurator is, and actually let me just pin the menu here. The configurator is where you tell VitalSigns what it is that you want to monitor and how to monitor it. So the first thing you can do is import servers directly from your Domino directory. So you give it the name of any one server, click the load button, and it will parse through the address book, pull in all the servers, and present you with a list, and you can just check. These are the ones I want, these are the ones I don't want, and so forth. So how does VitalSigns do that? Well, of course, you can't just go strolling through somebody's address book. You actually have to have a notes ID and a password to get in there, because Domino is very secure. So we'll go in here under IBM Domino settings, and on the machine where VitalSigns is running, it has to have a notes client, and that notes client has to have an ID, and that ID has to be able to get to the Domino servers. And right here you tell VitalSigns what the name of the ID file is, where the notes ID is. You can put in a password, and from that point forward, any Domino server that the notes ID can get to, VitalSigns can monitor. Now you can tell it the various server tasks that you want it to be able to monitor, and you can set these up for specific servers or not. You can have it watch over specific notes databases. With notes database replicas, you can make sure that the various replicas of a notes database are in sync. You can also do log file scanning. You can also tell VitalSigns to watch over any statistic that Domino keeps track about itself. Also, for any given server, let me just take a look at the list of servers. So let me just pick Domino servers. So for all my Domino servers like this one, I can set a scan interval. I can specify how many users are ideal, what's the monthly operating cost. We can do some financial reports based on this. How often do you want to scan it? What are the various thresholds that you want to do, that you want to be notified about for pending mail or dead mail, or CPU usage or memory. You can tell it which server tasks to watch over. You can tell it which disks to watch over. And you can set thresholds on even the number of days the thing has been running, because we have a number of customers that have a policy that says if a server is running more than 30 days, it should be rebooted. So that prevents problems. So in case you forget to do that, you can say, hey, just alert me if the server's been running more than a certain amount of time. So there it is. That's how VitalSigns monitors Domino servers.